Hello! How's it going? Today is, man, I'm really excited. I've been waiting to do this for a while. So, this is the Game Boy Advance or GBA Consolizer mod, which in the most basic terms, it puts an HDMI port and a Super Nintendo controller port onto a Game Boy Advance. The one that I got is the full case model, though, which will actually take the Game Boy Advance's board out and put it into a new enclosure, so it looks like a new device. But yeah, in the most basic sense, it's still just a Game Boy Advance, but instead of a screen, now it's going to have an HDMI port and a Super Nintendo controller port. So let's get going. Little introduction. I am a pretty big beginner as far as soldering and modding kind of stuff goes. The only things I've done at this point are I did an NES RGB mod on an AV Famicom, and that was great, pretty easy. And then I did a Voltar's like translation mod for a Super Famicom game. That was really hard. It took me 2 tries. The first time I destroyed all of my mod parts, and like I bought 5 of his 8 megabits modules, you know, and I destroyed all 5 of them trying to do it, and then had to order more. And then later, tried it again. Second time, I didn't destroy anything, but I did have to reflow the memory chips on the modules like 4 times before it actually worked. But it worked, and it's great. So yeah, let's get these jams going here, and let's get to modding this Game Boy Advance. So let's take a quick look at the Advance first. As you see, the screen is like pretty jacked up. Like I've seen worse, you know, but this, I wouldn't want to play on this thing. Pretty bad screen, but it does work though. So let's actually let's show it working to start with. Pretty cool little thing here. Because for some reason the Game Boy Advance doesn't just have a power input on it. It's nuts. It's funny, sorry, it's story time already, but like the original Game Boy had a power input on it, right? And when I was a kid, we didn't get batteries. You know, my parents acted like batteries were like the most expensive, precious things in the world. They were $100 per pack, you know? We never got batteries for our Game Boys. 100% of my Game Boy playing time was sitting with my back up against the wall on the carpet next to an outlet with my Game Boy plugged into it, you know? And that's how I played. Anyway, Game Boy Advance. Let's make sure that this thing works. So I got Golden Sun here. Turn that on and we can, if this camera wants to focus, we can just barely see that indeed it works. Let's go with a DMG game. Metroid 2. That's looking good. And then we've got Game Boy Color game. We'll see, Nox. We'll see how I ultimately prefer playing. And there we go. We've got Game Boy Color functionality. So, there we have established that we have ourselves a working Game Boy Advance with a pretty jacked up screen. All right, so I've got here the box in the mail. Oh. Ooh, it's got Woozle logo on it. All right, so here are the toys themselves. Yep, there we go. So here's the board that has like the actual chip on it. We've got our HDMI port and our USB. All right. So here's our Super Nintendo controller port. This is the switch. I think these might be magnets. Yeah, this like rod here are magnets to hold the top on. These are the cap replacements. So if we want to recap the system, those are they. I think we will. I mean, that was an extra charge. Here, we've got the actual enclosure for the unit. So, there's the power button. So this'll be where the motherboard lives from now on. SNES controller port spot there, game cartridge, link cable spot right there. It's even got the little things for the GameCube thing to latch onto. This means you could play a Game Boy game on your Game Boy player and use the GBA Consolizer as your controller for the Game Boy player. So you can play Game Boy Advance games on the GameCube's Game Boy player using a Super Nintendo controller. We're getting layers in here. It's great. And then this is a little like guide for the game to go in. And underneath this is the plexiglass, which I don't want to touch. I don't want to take the front off until I need to and get my grubby fingerprints all over it. That's going to go right in there for a plexiglass top. Game goes right there. It's gonna be great. All right, let's get back to disassembling this Game Boy. All right, all right. Power slide. Here's the power switch down here. But I guess this little unit that slides the power switch back and forth, you can call the power slide. Is it just those two screws? Ah, and then there's this ribbon cable. All right, let's get this battery out of there. I think all we got to do is just heat that up, pull that pin out, heat this up, pull that pin out, and there we go. Speaker is out of here. Then we got to pull out these battery contacts. Woo! All right, I need the tweezers. I don't even know what I touched. Yeah, I think it's like a digital microscope or something, isn't it? This thing's not wanting to come out. Oh, there it goes. Nice, and it sprayed solder all over the pad behind it. There we go, we got the battery contacts off. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing here for this thing because so many parts of it need to move at once, you know? Why am I breathing all this in? So there's this row of capacitors here that I'm worried about. I don't want to affect those. So I'm kind of avoiding them. Maybe those are the pads that I'll wet and not wick. I am not AKG. This is This is a mod that somebody much, much smarter than me designed, and they designed it so well that hopefully an idiot like me is going to be able to do it with no real knowledge of what I'm doing. This is so Uematsu, but I can't think of what song this actually is. Or what game this is actually from. Final Fantasy VI? Yeah, makes sense. When I saw the installation video, getting rid of this thing honestly looked like the hardest part. Okay, let's see what this is on the installation guide. That is the clock crystal.
The metal can oscillator. I've just been wiggling it off.
Oh.
Destroying it, pretty much. It's so much faster. It's not even funny. And so far, I've not destroyed one single pad.
Okay, well, oh, it wiggles. Look at that. Okay, we did it. Oh, I don't want to touch that cap. How do I hit both these pins without hitting that cap? Okay, there's those two bridged. They'll probably unbridge when I do this next one, though. There we go. How do you like that? All right, so now we got to do the same thing to the left two pins over here. But it's kind of like a reach to get in there. Really trying not to hit this thing. There we go. All right, there's that done. Power switch and audio volume pot bypass. Done that. Okay, anyway, test bypass mods by putting the shell back on. It's not necessary to screw them back together. I don't feel like putting things back on. We already took the battery shit off. So yeah, why don't we replace these caps, right? Let's try and figure this out. I'm gonna immediately reverse my decision and say, this board is gonna be so easy to access because of the Consolizer enclosure that maybe we replace the caps some other time. Okay, so that's our preparation done. Oh, this actually comes with the cable, the cabling. I've got like a bunch of ribbon cable that I'll probably be using. But okay, so here is the breakout board. And yeah, this is looking like it's supposed to go right here. And I'm not sure exactly how I want to secure it there right now. I'm really trying to think if I have any double-sided foam tape. All right, I'm back. I do have some double-sided tape. I didn't even have to ask my roommate. I could picture exactly this roll of double-sided tape in my head, but I haven't touched this in so long that I didn't even think I had it anymore. All right, so we need a pretty small piece here. All right, so I'm gonna want this to be about right here, which means this has to be about right here. All right. And that's fastened with some double-sided tape. Using the hookup wire included in the kit or your own wire, attach lengths as short as possible between each pad. Okay, so these are all labeled, right? It's almost like we should just turn it around because they're labeled this way. But yeah, TP2, for example, they all go to different pads over here. Let me show you some of the different lengths of wire I used. I'm thinking for this whole thing, we're not gonna need any wires. I'm gonna be gracious here, give myself a lot. I feel like we need these blown up. There we go. Let's also consider that it only needs to, I shouldn't have ribboned these two. These two could just be different wires. But look, this is good practice, all right? I'm an idiot, and I'm a total beginner at this stuff, and so if I can do it, you can do it. I mean, it's taken me 10 minutes to prepare this one cable. Okay, so I want black to go right here. So it's gonna go from there to right there. So let's pull this out about that much more. And then snip it about right there. Whoa, take this thing. Hey, Game Tech. Okay, there we go. We got it. All right, black wire is now prepared. So we can go from there to there on it. It looks like I gave myself maybe a little bit too much room. You know what? They're divorcing. Divorced. After all that shit, I guess that means it's time to put the first actual wire in here, right? So let's go fluxy doodle over here. And over here. And as usual, I don't know anything about what I'm really doing. Instead, I'm just copying all the things that I hear Voltar say. So let's wet my tip. He usually says that, right? Lube it up. So it can be sexual or something like that. Pre-tin that wire. Come over to the other side. Pre-tin. Until it hurts my fingers. All right. And then let's flip this baby around and get these pads tinned up here. So we'll go, is this on camera? All right, all right, all right. Oh, beautiful. Come over here. Oh, that pad is already plenty wet. Wait a second. Is it okay if these are these supposed to be bridged? It looks like they are. These two clock crystal pads? They are, okay, cool. With this tiny little cable. All you guys make it look so easy. Okay. And then I'm wishing I had a little bit less room here that I gave myself with this cable. But that's fine. We'll just... Ah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Do you guys know what Jet Li's favorite video game console was? It was the Ouya! Let's come up here and like tin that pad. There we go. And then the cable that I've designated for this particular connection is this one, which is going to go there to there. And we're just eyeballing. Then let's come in. Ooh, all right, here we go. Try to mitigate my shakiness as much as possible here. Give it a little tuggaroo. Oh my God, this one's not long enough. I did kind of solder it on way far away. There we go. I put way too much slack on the right side. That's what it was. This one, it will reach, but kind of just barely, so I gotta be careful about that. Alright, so that's connected, but still, I think this side maybe I can stand to bring it back left just a little bit more. And use that slack to connect this just a little bit better. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied with that. All right, but maybe maybe just a little bit more is going to be better for the rest of these connections. Okay, so this guy is going to serve all these connections over here, and each one is going to go over here. I want to keep them ribboned for fun. I don't know if it's necessarily all that possible, though. But let's try it. Okay, so let's take just the two that are going to stretch over to those two. And let's get the end stripped on those. Some of this stuff you guys can't see, but the strats we're using here are pretty exciting. Boom. All right. And now these other four need to be clipped slightly shorter. Maybe I should be using my little clamp, but oh well. TP7. TP4. Five. 6, 3, and 2. Then thank you, Game Tech. Excellent to hear from you, and thanks for bringing all these lovely people here too. Pre-tin, pre-tin, pre-tin. All right. So, this might be a little trickier than, well, let's find out. Let's just go. Whoa. Yeah, let's just go. I guess we'll do the shorter ones first. This is insanely Shoji Meguro. I wonder what it's from. Oh, that was the best solder joint I've ever made. All right, let's replicate it. Round 2. Get in there, Greenie. Okay, this is going amazingly well so far on this part. Oh, man. That's looking pretty good on those 4. Hey, Rubik. So now I am a little bit worried that I exposed too much wire on these 2 and they're going to be contacting these. That's annoying. This is probably why I shouldn't have done it this way. But let's just see what happens. It looks like the yellow is pretty clear. So, yeah, I'm a little worried that the red and yellow are gonna make contact with the other ones. But right now it looks pretty good. Okay, so now we gotta bring all these out to where they're supposed to go. So the funny thing is that actually separates blue even more from the crew. It's all only going to be connected like right here. But anyway, so this is going to go to TP6 about right there. So we'll generously just cut it off right now about right there. So we'll give that about the same cut. So yeah, I guess we're pulling all these out to about right there. You know, I know this isn't from Resident Evil, but it reminds me of that, like, some of these notes kind of remind me of the escape sequence at the end. The rainbow does not come with the kits. That stuff I have on my own. The kit does come with some wire, though. It does come with its own. But yeah, I'm just using my own ribbon cable because I like it. Cut that off about there. Cut this off about there. And okay. So now it's time to do the real shit. I think I'm going to go bottom up. So that gives us brown right here. And we kind of want this ribbon cable to come down here like that. So let's cut off about another millimeter and then strip the end. Flux the tip. Okay, there we go. That's good. Okay, okay. Let's cut it back to about right there. Where's a good place to get ROMs? I can show you exactly the best place to get ROMs. It's gonna blow your mind. This is the INL Retro from InfiniteNESLives.com. It's got a bunch of cartridge slots on it, even Game Boy, and it plugs USB into your PC, and you use this baby to pull a ROM right off of your real cartridge. It's awesome. All right. Flex up the end of this wire. Shaky hands, quit shaking. Tin up that pad. Tin up this wire. And now, for the best part, we just try our damnedest to grab this thing with our shaky ass hands and hold this cable down. Ooh, there it is. Beautiful. All right. Last step for this one. This is so dangerous what I'm doing with my ring finger. There we go. It is connected. Ooh, a little chrono trigger sound effects. Okay, yellow might actually be a little too long. So let's like pull it back a little bit like that. Yeah, that looks good. It's gonna look good too, I think. So the other two that we need are 6 and 5, yeah. So it won't be in the way of anything also. Beautiful. Starting to feel pretty good about this. All right. Get True Blue out of here. Come on in with the old tweezers. Done. Dang, dude. Stay down, please. All right. And there we go. All of the wires on that side are done. Look at that. Hey, Maka, I would say we're winning. Look at that shit. Looking pretty good. Okay. So now, as we discussed earlier, it's time to do a quick multimeter test and make sure that I didn't accidentally short anything over here. So, get this guy out. All right. So the ones I'm worried about are like green to yellow. All good. Yellow to orange. All good. Orange to red. All good. Red to brown. Yep, no shorts. All right, so now we've got this side to do. So let's tin up the rest of these pads then. Oh man, I feel like this is the good shit that you guys really gotta be seeing. All right, so we need 6 of these bad boys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But that doesn't use purple. F that, we're using purple. I'm getting rid of brown on the side. Sorry, Brownie. You might be the best character in Contra Hardcore, but actually he's not. When I played Contra Hardcore, originally I thought that Brownie was the best character, because like he can double jump, he's shorter than the other characters, so it's hard for things to hit him. You know, he's got good weapons, but dude, Brad Fang, he is a wolf man wearing denim pants or jeans or whatever you want to say. He is a wolf man wearing sunglasses. And when you pick him, on the character select screen, he says, "It's payback time." For what? Oh, so many questions unanswered. But he's a badass, and you know that. Beautiful. Oh, that one I didn't sever these cables very well. What game is it where when you open a treasure chest, it says like, the character found 200 gold, he decides that he deserves to keep it? What game is that where it says that? It sounds like an Earthbound thing, but I don't think it was Earthbound. He decides that he deserves to keep it. It's like such a funny thing to include, you know, in the dialogue box. But like, it's so true though, that the character has to make that decision because it's not his, you know, or hers. Again, it sounds really Earthboundy, but I don't specifically remember it being Earthbound. I really didn't separate these enough. And now this one's like coming up. Hang on. This is one of those MIDI songs that sounds like it was written with vocals in mind, you know? But instead of vocals, we're just getting that top layer. Okay, these last two are looking kind of bad because I had to mess with them so much. I also think they could use a tiny bit more solder. That looks better on that one. Okay, so those joints do not look quite as good as the other sides turned out. The first few looked good, but then I didn't like space it out properly. And now like the rubber's getting pulled back too. Okay. Anyway, let's kind of do the same thing, right? And go bottom up. So this bottom one is C2, that goes right here, so that's a big pull. Let me separate the ribbons again. It might be a bit of a pain, but like I am gonna be really glad that I'm using this ribbon cable when it's done, because it does look good. The only reason that it's even a little bit of a pain is simply because I'm inexperienced. Whoops. I accidentally split its tip across the pin. How do I fix that now? Just clamp it together. The playlist knows I'm having a bit of trouble. Oh, come on. want it just right there. Yes, there we go. Just kind of bend it up a little bit so it's not touching anything else. All right, that was a little tricky. I expected that to be like the easier ones. What's your guys' favorite video game soundtrack? You can guess mine based on the timing that I thought to ask the question. SO1 needs to be soldered also. We already just tinned that up a bit. Why don't we just do the other ones too? TP1, 8, and 0. So that one's gonna go there. SO1 is gonna kind of be right there with it. And then these three kind of all go up there. Okay, so I think first thing to do here is to take our snips and get the extra off of those two right now. Flux. Pre-tin. And this one's really close to another one, so I think I'm gonna snip the excess once we get this connected here. Give it a brief tug. Come in with the cuts, the snips, citizen snips, citizen snips, and snip off that little bit of excess. And that leaves SO1 over here. So I want green to just kind of go over the blue and then come over here for a connection right there. So, flux. Pre-tin. Bring it right here. And there we go. You know, trim them off a bit about here. And then pull them back to about here. So I gotta... Citizen snips. I feel like I'm breaking a new record of Futurama references today. Okay, so now which is which here? TP0 is red, 8 is orange, 1 is yellow. So it looks like old Yeller is first. This is gonna be pretty precise. Can't find a comfy place for the hi-hat. Dude, it's an endless struggle for me. The freaking hi-hat placement. So yeah, we're in this for we're doing some bad soldering right now. If you guys are ever interested in some bad drums, I also like to drum on the stream. And this is all besides the usual schedule of playing games. Gaming is the main thing, particularly retro games, but I do like to drum, and I do like to modify stuff sometimes. All right, there we go. So we've got orange trimmed. Give it the flux. Perfect. Who are your guys' favorite drummers, if you have them? My favorite drummer is Mike Portnoy, but I also really like Gene Hoglan. I really like Richard Christie. Love Mike Portnoy. You like Lars Ulrich? Hey, you know. Some people like Lars Ulrich. Yeah. The yellow, orange, and red are all pretty close together, but they are currently not touching. I'll make sure they aren't at the end here. It's really hard to use the tweezers with the camera. Okay, right there. Done. Look at the ribbon cables. Now that we did it all with ribbon cables and it was kind of a pain in the ass. Look at it now though. To quote Popo and Duck, remember when we never gave up? All right. So now we just need to connect the batteries to the batteries. All right, so let's prepare these battery pads. Maybe. All right. So I'm actually going to use the provided cable for the battery terminals. Those are over here. All you hear when you listen to music is the drums. That's how it like started for me, you know? That's how okay, real talk. This is part of the reason that Mike Portnoy is my favorite drummer, is that when I started to get into music was when I discovered Dream Theater, you know? That was like huge for me, and I started listening to Dream Theater like exclusively for the next like 2 years. I just only listened to them, right? And I was like, wow, this band, it's like every member of this band is world class at their instrument. It's crazy. And of course that's true with multiple bands, but this was just my first experience with this kind of band, you know? And for a long time, it just, you know, I started wondering, like, who's my favorite? Who's my favorite member of Dream Theater, you know? And at some point I realized my favorite member was Mike Portnoy. And my favorite Dream Theater instruments, and the thing that I could listen to a Dream Theater song 5 times in a row and just listen to a different instrument each time, and I'm always amazed, you know? But over all this time of just listening to their shit so much, you know, it was the drums. The drums were the thing that I just couldn't get enough of. And so not only did I realize that Mike Portnoy is my favorite Dream Theater member, he's also my favorite drummer, And drums are my favorite instrument. Favorite Backstreet Boy? I don't know the different Backstreet Boys, but I have a favorite Backstreet Boys song.
But what was the riff? Down, down, da down, da 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 down. Ha 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 ha!
Oh yeah, dude. Oh man, that song is great. All right, these should be easy, right? Yeah, as far as is getting into like that kind of drums, I love. Is it Dave McGraw from Cattle Decapitation? That guy is nuts. Or I don't know the guy's name from Car Bomb, but Car Bomb has like crazy, weird drums. There we go. We got all this stuff done. It is time to grab the main board. All right. So there's the main board of the mod, and it's time to start dipping into our bag of goodies. I don't know how you guys feel. How many of you guys did you like really follow the creation of this mod? Personally, originally when it was shown and it had that big satisfying switch, power switch, I really liked the look of that, but they changed it to this like in out kind of power switch. I don't like the in out as much. I liked the big satisfying thunk kind of one. Oh well. Okay, so this gets soldered to this. And we're supposed to use this cable. Where to get this kit? Yeah, GameTech.US, game-tech.us. You grew up on Ranma 1/2? Okay. I read a lot of Ranma 1/2, but I watched a lot of Inuyasha. I read Inuyasha also, actually. Let me tell you, for, I was like 13, 14 during that time. Maybe 15, 16. Rumiko Takahashi mangas for that age group, highly recommended. Lot of boobs. Lot of boobs in those books. But not like extreme, There wasn't any like there weren't any like sex scenes or like overly like adult things. Just a bunch of inconsequential boobs. That was good until the very end. My soldering station, I've got the Kizger, the one that Voltar recommended on his on one video from Banggood. Boy, I could use my circuit board holding thing now, the vise. There we go. All right, those are on. Okay, so how the hell do you do this? I'm just gonna dip these pins in flux. Then let's take the wire here and flux up the wires as well. Okay, I've never soldered like this before. I just need to connect these. Okay, I have an idea. What if we feed the wire through this middle spot and then like bend it in, you know? Like make a loop. There we go. Okay, so now it's like looped in there. So with it looped in like that, now what? Do we just like... Something needs to be holding this, jeez. We just do that? Oh, look at that! Sweet! Okay, so feed that through. Just like that. Push down on it. Wrap it around. Wrap it. Okay. Just like that. Then do my best with it just sitting here to heat it up. And just jam a bunch of that on there. And there we go. Okay. Oh wait, if I set it on its side like this, then I can actually press down on the leg. Oh dude, that's the ticket. Yeah. Okay. Oh, back. Okay. Next up, time to solder the SNES controller port. So that goes in right here. And you gotta make sure it's level. Always flux. I stuck the tabs in here. How about that? That should work, right? Okay, I got an idea. We'll just like put the soldering or the line right there. Hold it in place with left hand. Right? And then just like do this. That might have like tacked it in place. Yeah, that seems to be holding it. So then we'll hit this side too. Right, exactly. Once we got it in place. Okay. Now let's get this out of here. Rosin paste flux. Oh, it's harmful if swallowed? Does anybody know the number for 911? Let's look at it. Is that... Oh yeah, that looks great. I did a great job. I'm the best ever. So now we'll just kind of turn it this way. (912) Sorry, this is 912. All right. How'd we do here? Oh, hang on, jams. How'd we do here? Looking pretty good. I think I went just a little bit light on this one though. So let's reheat this one and add a little bit more to it. Yeah. All right, but now we're supposed to snip these. Well, these are gonna go flying and I'm never gonna find them. And pew! Oh, I'm hearing them land. Oh, that one hit the monitor, I think. I don't vacuum back there. That one's never coming out. All right, there we go. Breakout board is installed and the main board is put together. Make sure it's all working before you get too much of it put together. Sanity checks. Right, it's time to start putting cables on shit. Ribbon cables on stuff. Okay, so I think that means we get our Game Boy Advance board back out here. Or something. Attach the two FFC cables to the main board. So, we've got ribbon cable number 1, 2, and 3, but I think that these two are the same one. It just depends on what type of Game Boy board you have. And our Game Boy has this one, so we don't need this one. This has almost too much movement for me to think that I'm putting this in the right spot. This must be the right cable. Oh, I see. You just got to put it a little bit further in. I was pushing it up against the lock tabs, not the actual inside. There we go. Boy, this thing's autofocus is just the worst. Well, I mean, I guess we just connect it for now. And we don't really worry about how it looks yet. I mean, that's the whole point, but still, I was just concerned about it. Okay, so this one is supposed to go in here. Just like so. So now we need to provide micro USB power. Gosh, where do I have that available to me? I could use like my phone charger. Hopefully, you should be able to just use like a USB AC adapter, right? I don't know how this voltage stuff works. Oh my God, this is a plastic bag sitting here. I thought that this plastic bag sitting here was like my chroma key green screen not working. Oh God. All right, I'm gonna go grab my phone charger. Also just so happen to have a mini HDMI to regular HDMI cable just sitting on my floor that I don't use. Perfect, need it. Right now I need it. Just sitting right there. All right, so now we provide power. Oh, I see lights. Does that mean that I need to power it off? Okay, so we had the switch powered on. So we know this power switch works. Cool. Now, mini HDMI. This is the greatest part. This is when you feel like Dr. Frankenstein. Moment of truth time. It's not working on the capture yet, but... Yo! Back off. Back on. I got no sound yet, but that's fine. Okay. And then, I mean, we are going to need to figure out the sound thing, right? But where is sound even connected? Surprisingly, nothing connected to where the speaker connects, but I guess that's not too surprising. Okay, next, let's just make sure real quick that it reads a game. Oh. First try, can you believe it? Yo. Look, it's my childhood Golden Sun save file from when I was a boy. Okay, so how do we access the menu? How do we get sound to start happening? Here we go. Plug in HDMI power. The game should boot normally, but you will not hear sound the first time. You must pull up the menu. Hit down plus select. Go to System. Turn on DVI Plus mode. Here's one thing I'm noticing. I don't know if you guys see it on the capture. Oh, is the capture not working ever since I turned that on? Oh, that's probably why we don't have sound. Because now the capture doesn't like it. Apparently my capture card does not like the DVI Plus mode. That's interesting. All right, let's use the camera then. All right. So, ever since I turned the DVI mode on, there's this bar over here now too. But now if we turn DVI mode off, the bar goes, that weird bar on the side goes away. Let's try the headphone jacks. So I have a cable for this. For when I stream DS games, it's the same way. I've got a 3.5 millimeter to RCA from the headphone jack into my mixer. There we go. And yeah! All right, are we ready now? Yeah, there might be some buzzing. I'm gonna blame any buzzing right now on my mixer. My mixer is real weird sometimes. It's working. And you know what's really cool about it too? From what I can tell right now, is that the colors, they look pretty dang bright. But they look pretty good too, right? Or is it too bright? I noticed when I play Game Boy, or when I use the Game Boy player on the GameCube, I have to turn the saturation and contrast down to get it to look good. Let's see if we got options for that. Oh yeah, okay, there are options. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is what it is. You guys, no, this is what it is. Do you know why the saturation is too high? It was by design. They purposefully made Game Boy Advance games have too high of saturation because the backlight of the SP wasn't, was weird or something. It's because it wasn't bright enough or something like that. So now if we turn it on GBA though, look at that. That looks perfect. Oh my God. Oh. Yo, this makes me happy. I am extremely pleased with this. It's alive! I am so happy with this. Let's get the case together. Let's get this thing into being a little console, shall we? I like that Famicom turn off that it does, or like disengage. I don't know if you guys ever noticed that, like, when you hit reset on a Famicom, the screen like juts, but it doesn't do that on the NES. I think the NES just goes black when you hit reset. Man, nice job fucking Woozle and Game-Tech. Can you believe an inexperienced idiot like me can put this together and have it work? Install the power switch into its hole and use whichever combo of nuts and lock ring you like. Okay, I like all the terminology here. So, it's time to bust the case out. So this thing is gonna go in there. Okay. So because the instructions, this is from Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Since the instructions seem to be for the old case, this is gonna kind of be a puzzle, putting this together. Oh, that was so satisfying. It just like snapped right into place. There we go, now we got our ports. I have played Tactics Advance. That was one of the few Game Boy Advance games I owned as a kid. When I was younger, I didn't actually have very many Game Boy Advance games. When I bought my GBA, I got it with Golden Sun. That was the game. My brother got a Game Boy Advance SP and Golden Sun, and I just thought it was so awesome, I had to go get it myself. And that was like the first... I was talking about this earlier, but I didn't really finish the story. So when I started getting allowance and stuff, the first like big video game purchase that I made for myself to be my system was a Game Boy Advance SP. And Golden Sun was the game that I got with it. And then later, I ended up picking up, I got Golden Sun Lost Age, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, because I love Final Fantasy Tactics for PS1. But yeah, I ended up picking up Golden Sun Lost Age, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, Pokemon Red I got as a gift, I got something else as a gift too, Link to the Past. And then the funny thing is, oh, and then Metroid Zero Mission. I think Metroid Zero Mission was the first game I ever bought launch day. That was the first game that I was ever like, I need to get this the day it comes out. It's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna pre-order it. And I did, and I got it. And it was great. I need one of those things. All right, Nate's on the case. Let's get this board screwed in while we go. So the interesting thing is, it looks like the screws just screw in. I don't see anything that they screw into. They just fasten right to the 3D printed thing, but I guess that means we gotta do not tighten these screws, just only enough force for it to hold the board on, and no more. At the very least, it might at least allow me to apply, you know, equal pressure on the sides and spin it, which is kind of just what I need. But yeah, thank you. Well, one is too small and the next one is too big. And by too big, I mean it just doesn't fit in the hole. All right. I think we got this power switch in. And now it's like, so now we take this. And this is eventually gonna be right here. Okay, so we need to plug this in, but it needs to flip around. So we're gonna plug this in and then flip it like this. I probably should have done this, or plugged this in before I screwed the bottom part in. Okay, got it. And now this is supposed to plug in here. Oh, I was thinking that this was from Persona 3. This is like such a Persona 3 sounding song. But nah, this is Demon Souls. Okay. Oh. All right, I got it in, but actually I want to adjust something a little bit. I just want to pre-fold this so it's straight. I guess that's not, doesn't really do that. I can't even see this screw in here, or this hole. The screw's going in though, so there's a hole there. Oh yeah, what do I use as a green screen? I went to Joann Fabrics and I just bought a big piece of green cloth. But it was like in a strip. You see the line right here? It was a long piece that was that wide, you know? And then I brought it to my mom and I said, "Mom, will you sew this into a big green screen for me?" And she did. How's it going, Voltar? Like, it may have been foolhardy for me to put one of the screws in before placing this part in. I mean, that feels like it's in the right spot right now, actually. Okay, okay. Except that the whole board is not in place. It's got to go that way. All right. It is interesting that all these screws are going in without a nut, you know? They're just going into 3D printed plastic, which makes me think, you know, just do not tighten. Secure, no tighten. Because basically, here's the thing about these screws. I'm thinking about physics here, right? The force that's going to be applied to this board is not going to be up and down. The force that's going to be applied is this way and that way. When you push on a cartridge in and when you pull a cartridge out, this board is going to be pushed that way or it's going to be pushed this way. And all of that tension is going to be on the screws, right? But the screws up and down is fine. Doesn't matter how tight they are, really. They're there to stop that force. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna tell you guys a secret about me. I slept with the lights on until I was like 14. Now, though, I need the room pitch black. This screw does not go in. Is there not a screw hole here? I feel like I need a flashlight. Oh, that screw hole isn't quite lined up. That makes me wonder. Now that 3 screws are in, I mean, does this go in straight? Mostly. There is a hole for the 3.5 millimeter right there. Okay, let's put this power button on. So the power button just wraps around that thing and... Is that really it? You just jam it on? I'm not exactly sure how that works. Okay. And that means now it's time to put some magnets on, right? So, let's separate these magnets. Okay, they're impossible. So they drop in, but are they gonna hold in? Yes, because they don't drop in. Okay, got it. So we need to... Oh, anyway. Seems like we're supposed to jam these in there. Oh, it's going. It's got a magnetic tip too, so it holds my pressing utensil down. All right, let's add another utensil on here. I'm a little nervous about I should have done this before I put the board in, because if this thing slips, it's gonna just jam into the board, right? So I probably should have thought this through. Let's... Oh, there it goes. It went the rest of the way in. However, that's not coming out for a while, because I'm using this. But look at that. The magnet is inserted into the hole. Beautiful. Oh, this one's going in way easier. Sweet. All right, that one just went right in. All right, that one went most of the way in. Let's switch to the left hand. Oh, there we go. Almost. I hope it's clear in the hole, by the way, because if there's an obstruction in there, this thing is not coming back out. Oh, it happened. Whoo! Okay, that's starting to look pretty bad, but we got it in. Maybe this last one will go in as easily as the second one did. Yeah. See, that one just went right in. Okay. Otherwise, we're ready to put this plexi on. Are we ready to reveal it? Because we got to reveal it, right? Which way is it going to go? Ah, it's going to go... So this is the bottom. So let's reveal the bottom first so we can get the magnets in it. There we go. Boom. Let's go. How about that? And then, yeah, here he shows magnets. And yeah, it looks like they're just glued on, right? I don't have any glue. I literally don't own glue. I guess that'll have to be another day that I do that. So I'm a little confused by this power button. I don't want to be too rough with it, but like, are these sides supposed to split apart for it to go on there? You gotta just jam this on, right? Is this power button strong enough for me to do this? Is it okay for me to just jam this button onto this thing? Because I imagine what's gonna happen is this little plastic rod right here is gonna get forced into this hole because it's circled, giving this middle spot space for it to spread apart and become large enough for this to fit, right? That's the physics of what's happening here. If I jam this in, like, you know, it works. The problem is that this thing isn't shaped like the end of a screwdriver. Oh God, now the plexi's falling off. Pizza Farts is always so like ready to do like just the headstrong, simple answer. So ready to just jam it.
Yes, just jam it on.
We are just finishing up the Game Boy Consolizer, the GBA Consolizer. I'm trying to put this fucking power button on, but you know what? This power button issue wouldn't even be an issue if it was just a big satisfying switch. Prof, that's actually a really good idea. It's not that I need to widen the hole, it's that I need to angle it, you know? Like lube it up so it accepts the power button. Maybe just like putting this screwdriver in it and just like giving it some twists. It was an easy soldering job. I am a beginner and an idiot, and I did it first try. It booted up first try for me. Oh, it went right on after that. Okay, that's all we had to do. See this? I don't know if I'm into that sound. I want the big switch. I might put that on instead. I kind of wish I had routed this cable somewhere else, you know? But it comes down here and in there. Next one, if I do another one, I'm gonna route that way and around that way so that there's no, I guess there's also this cable you can see. Oh, there's also the rubber feet to put on it. We gotta put the rubber feet on. All right, hang on. Get this off. Flip this bad boy around. Let's get these nice and like in the right spot. Hang on, hang on. All right, let's really press this rubber foot on. Make sure we push all the bubbles out of the texture, you know? Just have the magnets on top? Oh yeah. I was actually thinking that at first. That was my first idea. And then I forgot about that idea. I think it'll work to do that. They're pretty weak. Like, will that... Yeah, yeah, you know. Well, that works for now. As long as it's not getting jostled. Hi, Opie. Can you guys see her? Hi. What's up? You want to be down there now? Oh, but first you gotta stretch and dig your claws into me. And then rub your tail on the mic. Everybody can hear that. Hi, Opie. Oh, whoa. We're doing that now. See, now that this has been introduced, now I need to make sure to not get any cat hair under these feet. All right. There we go. We got rubber feet on it now. Oh, geez, the magnets. I moved the system around while it was on top. Oh, God. Oh, magnets. Okay. Now the rubber feet are on. For now, we're going to put the magnets on top. And we are going to do some more testing and looking at the features and stuff. Let us now get connected back up and try this stuff out. Audio here, video here, power here. Let's take another quick look through the menu with Golden Sun here. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that sweet? It's just like an NES front loader, you know? The front loader, you take your game and you pop it in. I love it. All right. Whoops. Yes. Yeah. Oh, right, we need to, okay, so, a couple things to do. So we got video settings. We can turn on smoothing. So check that out. It's got smoothing options. First thing we gotta do is set the shader to GBA. So there you go. If you like, if you are one of the people who likes like filters, you know, that kind of round things out, you know, this game, it's got it. I'm not that kind of guy. I like my pixels. I like my pixels nice and sharp. All right. One thing that I gotta point out, ooh. Whoa, the 4.5 actually fits perfect. Oh, but that does the thing though where like some pixels are gonna be slightly wider than others, I bet. So if we turn on 4.5 and then we walk, you might be able to actually see like some lines. I don't know though. Whoa, this looks smooth. You know what? I'm gonna keep it on 4.5. Okay, gamma. So you can have 2.2 or 2.4. Okay, this menu is a little unresponsive. Ooh, that looks better. The 2.4 gamma. That has a nice, more like darkness to it. I like that. Okay, Palate. I believe Palate is for Game Boy, like DMG Game Boy. You know when you put a Game Boy game into a Game Boy Color or an Advance and you can like press the button combos to change the palettes? I think that's what the palette option is for, but I'm not sure. Then we got Scanlines. Wow. Okay, these might look better in just 4 mode, actually. Yeah, they do. Okay, so Scanlines, this makes it look like, this really makes it look like an SP. When I played this game on the Game Boy Advance SP, oh my god, that's like exactly what it looked like. Now, if we had a Scanlines 2, that just looks like it's a little darker. Okay, so the grid Scanlines, it looks like 1, 2, and 3 just kind of darken it. But then we got just straight across Scanlines now, like you're on a CRT. Damn, if we go in the menu, you'll really be able to see it. Ooh, that looks good. Yeah, that must just thicken them a little bit. Now, personally, Scanlines are one of those things where, when oh yeah, good point, change gamma now. Yeah, because the Scanlines have like a darkening effect, so maybe turning that off actually looks better now. Now, when I watch somebody else's stream, I really like Scanlines, but for some reason, I don't really do them myself. I don't really want to put my own Scanlines on. But when I see them on someone else's stream, I always think they look really good. All right. There's a wizard. I don't think we need to do a wizard. That looks interesting, though. System, we did this. So A-B swap is going to be nice, because right now, this is A and this is B, you know, as it should be. But that means if you're playing like some, like Metroid, you're going to have to do this, you know? So that's a really good option to have. Well, what's interesting right now is that Y is also A. The DVI thing, I don't really understand. I was told to turn it on to get sound to work, but it just made my capture card not work. So I have to leave it off. I did try it though. Maybe we have to go to system save. So the only save is in the system menu. Got it. And then about, here it is. Stephen W. Woozle. I got an ID. Let's check out another kind of game, yeah? All right. We got Metal Gear Solid for Game Boy Color. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, boy. Yeah, there seems to be buzzing when the screen is white, but again, I think that's my mixer. My mixer is real weird. Oh, you know what part of it is too? Okay, I just fixed part of the buzzing. Again, my mixer is real weird. Okay, so let's look at the system real quick for this game. So A-B swap, we might, we're gonna be fine. Oh yeah, dude. Can I just continue my, Oh, yeah. Oh, right, that's actually what I was gonna look at, was the scaling. See, this is interesting. So the video options don't seem to save. That's pretty bizarre. Or maybe, maybe the video savings save, like it detects whether it's Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, or DMG. And maybe it has different settings. Like here, let's have shader off. We'll still do 2.4 gamma. Shader off. 4.5. Go back, go to system. Save. Now, if we put Golden Sun back in, will it remember the video settings for Game Boy Advance? It looks like it did. Yeah. Yo, it's even better than I thought it was. It individually saves your video options for Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, and probably regular Game Boy. That's even better because otherwise I would have had to come in here and change the shader every time. Dude, man, look how good this game's graphics are. Oh, start was? Wait a second, start? I thought select was, I must be wrong. All right. One more type of game to test. Original Game Boy. Ooh. This is also at the end of the game? All right, so let's check out our video options here. So it looks like it actually saved my Game Boy video options. So palette off must be like... Wait a second, is this an enhanced game that basically it's gonna work as if it's in a Super Game Boy? All right, hey Mons. Oh dude, you want dope music? Welcome to Super Mario Land. This game also doesn't have palette options? Let's see how you deal with this one. Ah, see, here's more what I was expecting. Is this just this generic green and blue? This game sucks, by the way. So this doesn't seem to be changing anything. You know what it is? I bet I know what it is. Okay, I know what it is. Palette off means it's not gonna do anything. But we can still do this, just like you normally can. There we go. B left is the black and white mode, right? So it just lets you pick one, right? We picked one. I bet what the palette option does is it preempts one. You know what I mean? So if we go system, or whoops, if we go video palette and we set it to like B1, I bet B1 will preempt a different palette in. Remember, if we have it off and we don't do anything, what we get is green and blue. But look at that. Yep. So it just it preempts a different color for you. All right, so we gotta find what the black and white is. Oh wait, now it's working. Oh, okay. So what was the one that we liked? I mean, some of these look hella good for Castlevania, but I'm kind of looking for C2 is what I'm kind of looking for. So now we turn it off. Sorry if it's clicking at you guys. Yep, and it you could even see it switch to it. All right, I don't know if you guys have played Castlevania the Adventure, but this game is it's not very good. One of the issues with this game is that it seems to operate in a perpetual state of slowdown. Like, you know when you get lag frames? This game, 50% of your frames are lag frames. Uh-oh, these guys they take 2 hits with my piddly whip. We're piddly whipping. Uh-oh, I'm walking along this enemy. If another enemy spawns, I just don't even know if the game can handle it. Whoa, look how good A1 looks. It's almost like they designed A1 to work with Mario Land specifically. Holy shit, look at that, All right, anyway. But yeah. Oh, and then here's the one for the purists. Whoa, after Castlevania the Adventure, it feels like Mario is running 100 miles an hour. Whoa. Yeah. I prefer the black and white over this, but hey, this is an option. I think maybe we should say that does it for the, it's not, I'm gonna stream. I'm gonna play some Game Boy games right now. I just want to maybe announce that I think that about does it for the modding portion of the stream. Like, we have now successfully modded the Game Boy Advance, and we get to just play games now. So, as a total beginner to this stuff, as somebody who doesn't do soldering work and I don't know much about electronics and stuff, this is an easy mod, I think. I thought that was super easy. Let's play some Game Boy games. Oh, geez, see, that's a move you could do in Mario 1, because you could, like, gain enough speed to get onto the pipe. It feels really good to play this with the Super Nintendo controller. I'm hitting this every time. Dude, the lagless thing that they've been advertising with this thing, that there's no input lag, it's true. I love when they spell things with coins. Yeah. Boop. Dude, PSP Consolizer would be so dope. You know why? Partly is because, but yeah, put a fucking PlayStation controller port on it. Holy shit, that's such a good idea. Because, like, the thing is, I've got the component cables so I can stream PSP, right? I got the component cables. But man, that PSP analog stick does not feel good. And I would so much rather just be able to plug a PS2 controller into it, you know? I used to use a PSP Go, where, you know, I had a PSP Go with the component cables, and the PSP Go had Bluetooth, so you could hook up a PS3 controller to it, and that was sweet. You could play your PSP on the TV with the PS3 controller. Absolutely awesome setup. However, the only issue is that I can't really stream a PSP Go because all of my games are physical. I had a PSP Go and some digital games at some point, but now I have a bunch of physical PSP games. And not everything is available on the Go store, you know? You can't get, like, Crisis Core isn't on there, and this is life-changing. Right, pretty soon they're gonna be calling me Dash the Game Boy. Because it's all Game Boy from here on out. This is what I stream now. 3 of them. They get back up! And my Mario is off to the side. Oh, geez. I tried to jump and get the power up, but it seemed like I didn't get it. Oh, I tried to just run off, you know, thinking that the Mario would drop a little bit more slowly. Oh, the Koopa, it blew up too fast. I've got an excuse every time. Oh, I could have gotten up there with my big boy powers. Were you guys here earlier when Voltar came in and told me I was doing a good job? Whew. It's like I'm finger painting. I'm like fucking finger painting. And then Salvador Dali walks in. So what are the Koopas called in this game? Because they're not regular Koopa Troopas. Regular Koopa Troopas don't explode. They gotta be called something else. We have a manual. It's called a Nokobone. Now we know. I think a regular Koopa Troopa in Mario in Japan is called a Noko Noko. This one's Nokobone. What could it mean? The Contra game for Game Boy? Oh, why would they make it fall the same speed that Mario can go down? So this boss, like, doesn't make a hit sound? But he eventually dies? Alright. It's just called Pro Protector, but it's on Game Boy? Yeah. Gargoyle's Quest? No, I've never heard of it. Yeah. Oh, are you guys ready for an amazing credits theme? Man, this makes me very happy. I wonder if the wait since July has made it better. Whoa, look at this ad for Nintendo Power. All right. Metroid Zero Mission. The first game that I ever pre-ordered and had to have day one. Whoa! That's right. This game gets down to business. Oh, yo. We can play original. Let's go. Playing a console game on portable that's been consolized. Exactly. We've gone full circle. And guess what? Feels great. Originally, the plan was, hey, it'd be kind of silly to play this for a while. But, just like Super Mario Land was when I was testing the system, the mod, now I'm playing Metroid on NES and it's awesome. Got him. Like, if you were to say to me, if you were to somehow present me the option, let's say it was made possible by a reality show and potentially like a gang of unrelenting stalking thugs. You were to tell me, Dash, you cannot play Super Mario Bros. Ever again. Unless you pay $1,000. I'd do it in a second. And so even though maybe the game is technically only worth $1 or something, the point is, for a game that's fun enough and replayable enough to be worth $1,000, $5, pretty good deal. Pretty good deal. Because it's not about the value of the components. It's about the value of the fun and the friends you'll make along the way. Yeah! You'd take $1,000 and never, right, reverse it, reverse the challenge. Would you take $1,000 and you're never again allowed to play Super Mario Brothers? I would not only say no, I'd probably kick you in the balls for even like suggesting the idea. That's how people fucked up their analog sticks, not because the analog sticks can't handle being rotated, because people pushed down with their palms and rotated it that way, so they were applying a lot of downward force, you know? Oh my god, as I was saying that, I looked down and saw this, and I was like, oh yes, Metroid Zero Mission in this. Oh. Anyway, so the thing is that like the stick is against a bowl, right? And it slides. The counter stick, the stick goes through the slot, and when you rotate the stick, there's this counter stick down here that's pressing up against a bowl, right? And it can slide and slip around it quite nicely. But if you're pushing down on the stick, now you're grinding the bowl. And when that bowl gets ground away, that's what causes the stick to start to recede. And that's what causes wiggle stick and unresponsive N64 sticks. Who don't know, it's okay to use an N64 stick. You just gotta not push down on it. You can reason it perfectly. So here's the deal with the N64 controller. Some games primarily use the analog stick, and some games primarily use the D-pad. And when Nintendo was designing the controller, they didn't think about like the PlayStation style or what was later the GameCube style of like people will just either have their thumb here or here. They thought, nah, for those two different control styles, they're gonna just need a different handle, you know? And even so, if we consider the N64 controller, the thing about it is that what that means, the fact that each of those different control styles has its own dedicated handle, it means that the handle is more comfortable for each of those styles, you know what I mean? The handle, you know what I often hear people complain about with controllers, particularly PlayStation controllers, is that they're too small and they don't fill your hand, you know? The N64 controllers have nice long handles that totally fill your hands. On top of that, depending on which handle you're using, that D-pad or that analog stick are in exactly the right spot. The other thing about the N64 controller that makes it great is that the analog stick is like super precise. I don't know if you guys have ever tried to replace your N64 analog sticks with a third-party one, but they're garbage. They're not like, they don't have nearly enough different degrees of sensitivity. In Mario 64, this was like the first, Mario 64 analog controls, you could get Mario to walk at like 100 different speeds. It's nuts. Then you try to put in a third-party one, manufactured in 2019, and suddenly Mario can only run at 3 different speeds. Oh my gosh, we've been playing Metroid Zero Mission for way too long now. Yeah, I guess we'll go new. Yeah, hard mode. So, I like Zero Mission quite a bit. It definitely feels very good controls-wise. One thing I very much don't like about this game, though, and I didn't even really remember this being a problem until I replayed this game for the stream, but Zero Mission has this issue where it just tells you where to go all the time. And I think that that's really lame. Zero Mission is not quite like Fusion. More like Horizon Zero Mission, exactly. Fusion is not, or Zero Mission isn't quite as bad as Fusion. But it does still have that problem of telling you exactly where to go all the time, which I think just totally sort of ruins the point of Metroid, you know? In Metroid Prime, you can disable it also, Seb. You can go into the options and turn the hint system off. In Metroid Prime 3, however, even if you turn the hint system off, it still hints you all the time, and it's really annoying. Oh, I didn't feel that way with Metroid Prime. I mean, I take notes when I play games, though, you know? When I come across an obstacle that I can't get past, I write it down. Whoa, shit, that's right, we're on hard mode. It's interesting that you get the long shot before the missiles in this remake. Yeah, other M, excellent world design, excellent gameplay. It just is a darn shame that they really botched the characterization. Ultra games. The first games I can ever remember playing are Mario 1, 2, and 3, Battletoads, Afterburner for NES. Did any of you guys or perhaps your sisters have a Talk Girl? I accidentally picked up that F and it's gonna F me. I mean, my brother unironically calls his Nintendo DS his Game Boy all the time. But right. I think the old person thing, the folks thing is, if it's a console, it's a Nintendo. And if it's a handheld, it's a Game Boy. Oh wow, you can walk down into this thing, that's surprising. Just blowing this wall open. Contra's great. Just guns solve everything. Like, I can't express enough how good it feels to play Game Boy with the Super Nintendo controller. Which is something that was already a thing with the Super Game Boy, you know? But the Super Game Boy didn't quite run properly, you know? You had to get the Super Game Boy 2. Which, like, okay, you can get the Super Game Boy 2. And that's great for Super Nintendo, or for Game Boy games. But now this has Game Boy, this brings like that level of excellence to HDMI, if that's your thing, and to Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance. Yeah, I don't know, Muffin, because it was Japan only. And I don't even know if it was made due to the clock issue. Hey, there we go. So yeah, this was the first game that I ever beat. It did have a link cable port though. Okay, now we're talking. So you can trade Pokemon with the Super Game Boy too, but not with the Super Game Boy. You know what else you can trade Pokemon with? The GBA Consolizer. On the cover, it's funny how on the cover of the game, he's white. Like they hadn't decided that he is pink yet. Because, you know, it doesn't really matter because it's a Game Boy game. Yeah, like when I was a kid, I didn't understand the spicy meal thing. I was just like, oh, that gives you the spitty power. And the microphone, right, I just had no idea what the microphone was. I thought it looked like a candelabra or something, you know? You know, I just realized whenever I watch a video online about a new Smash Bros. Character, nobody ever talks about what the new Kirby looks like when Kirby eats them. What a great looking boss. I love its like crazy specular highlights all over its eye. Like it really gets the point across that this thing's got a big eyeball, you know? That there's like so many highlights on it. I love this cutscene too. Kirby just looks so cool coming in here. Even though he crashes, it's intense. It's like when Travis Touchdown crashes into the first area of No More Heroes. Ooh. Ooh, the moves! This boss is not ready for my 0 input lag. He's not ready for it. He's like, nah, people are always playing on emulators these days. I got like 2 frames of lag on him that I can use. There's no way he'll make these jumps. Yeah. I love when the known information starts making like a circular pattern, you know? 1, 2, 3, 4, dash, 1, 2, dash, 1, 2. So then it's like 1, 2, dash, 1, 2, dash, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a real advanced technique I just pulled out there. I can give you guys private lessons if you want to learn how to do that one. All right. Well, that was the GBA Consolizer mod. Pretty easy, you know, so even I can do it. Wasn't anything dangerous. Really the toughest thing was getting that clock crystal off, which, you know, I guess is just, it depends on how you want to do it, how easy it's going to be. And yeah. The results, as far as like how this thing, oh, you're purring so loud. The results as far as like how this thing feels and the features that it has and how the Super Nintendo controller feels with playing like Game Boy Advance games and stuff. I am thoroughly impressed. I love the feature set that we've seen as far as like the scaling options, the palette options, the shader. The shader thing is huge because when I load up like Golden Sun on the GameCube, all the colors look really blown out, you know, and I got to go in and turn the saturation down, turn the contrast down, all that kind of stuff, and I can get it to look about as good, you know. But with this, boom, you just turn on GBA mode. It turns out, you know, they just knew what was going on there. And yeah, just the ease of use. Yeah, I'm super impressed with this thing. And like Prof was saying earlier, it's all the more special when you did the mod yourself, you know? So yeah, this thing looks excellent, feels great to play. I'm all about it. I'm gonna pre-order a couple more from the next batches whenever those get released, and make a couple for people I know. Thanks once again. Yeah, just thanks for watching, everyone. It was super fun. Have yourselves a good night, and I'll see you next time.